Hey everyone, Casey popping in here. Before we get to our interview with Alex, I just wanted to pop in here from the editor's seat on this episode and let you know that we did have a few technical difficulties on this episode. Unfortunately, we lost some of the audio from the first half of this interview. Unfortunately, I was not able to find it or salvage it. If we can, we will re upload this episode in full with our full discussion with Alex. But we still have a really fun discussion. It's very brief on this episode because we lost a lot of that audio, but hope you enjoy the first little part of our interview with Alex Kugelman talking about Don't Trip. Enjoy. Hello, Screen Demons, and welcome to the Screens from the Basement podcast. I am one of your creepy co-hosts. I am Casey.
I'm Sam the Damned, and let's get screaming.
And let's get screaming as we are joined by today's guest, Alex Kugelman, who joins us from the bright lights of Los Angeles, California, known as the City of Angels, but in this case, on today's podcast, as we talk about his new film, Don't Trip, you could call it the City of Nightmares. Don't Trip follows Dev, a young Hollywood screenwriter looking for his way into the film industry who befriends Trip, the eccentric son of a famed Hollywood producer.
Friendship soon becomes the tale of a nepo baby nightmare. Don't Trip stars Matthew Sato, Will Sennett, and Chloe Cherry, and is streaming now on Tubi. Please join us in welcoming writer and director Alex Kugelman to the basement. Alex, welcome. Congrats on the movie, man.
Wow, that what a beautiful intro. Thank you for that. That was quite nice. Yes, it is the city of nightmares at times. It can be the city of angels, but
Yeah, another thing that really stood out to me in the movie is the actual production value of it. Like you said, you wrote something that you knew you could actually shoot on a budget. But what are some of the things that you learned in the process of making this movie that really added that production value to it to make it look more than what the budget what actually was on the movie?
yeah, we so movie was like small movie, $200,000 movie, which is a lot of money, but not a lot of money for a movie, and we had 11 days to shoot, so we had to be very, very precise about what we were doing in terms of the decisions that we were making, and every single decision was scheduled out and accounted for, and because if you go over the amount of time that you're shooting, then you have to pay people more, and it's like our budget was just our margins were razor thin, so we really, really, really had to know what we were doing in pre-production going into the movie. So it was a lot of work, and I credit a lot of it to my producing partner Trevor Rothman. He's amazing, and it's a testament to the team's experience, working so many different productions and then bringing all those skills together to collaborate on it. So yeah, it was just it's we shot it in 11 days, but it was 10 years of work to get to those 11 days is, I think, the best way to
Yeah,
put it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And as you mentioned, shooting in 11 days, taking 10 years, to get to that point, working
Yeah.
on all these other shorts and features and working in film to get to there. Here's the question everybody loves to hate at the end of it. Don't Trip is out now on Tubi. People can watch it. What's next? What else do you want to do? What else do you want to do going forward in the film industry? Do you want to kind of stick in the comedy space? Do you want to go more into horror some more since you dipped your toes in it with this one? Where kind of do you see yourself going after this movie?
Yeah, it's a good question. I've written a couple things that I'm in the process of like getting out there now and getting into the hands of different producers and production companies that is more like it's more in the dark comedy space. I have a couple different things that I wrote. One is more of like a straight horror or a thriller. One is more of a straight comedy, and one is more of like a hybrid, like comedy, dark thriller kind of thing. So, I definitely am leaning towards doing darker shit. I mean, that's just what's interesting to me, and like, especially in terms of comedy, like that's the kind of comedy that I find funny is, the really dark humor that, you see on like shows like Eastbound and Down, and I'm sounding like I'm such an old person by referencing that show. But yeah, like I just that's what I'm interested in doing. So that's the thing I'm going to keep writing, and yeah, just trying to get as many scripts written as I possibly can so that I can get one made, hopefully.
And then have you heard from anyone out in LA about this movie of, "Oh, I've had that specific experience," or have you heard from any of your friends out there of like, "Oh, that hit close to home. You nailed it on the head with that."
Yeah,
So
yeah, there's
hopefully
definitely
not the third act.
yeah, yeah, not the third
Yeah.
act, thank God. I mean, I definitely, yeah, I've spoken to a lot of people who like relate to they know someone who is like the Trip character, like this sort of like piece of shit trust fund baby, and like I've heard from a lot of people and read a lot of reviews where it's like, oh, this is like my ex-boyfriend, or like I this guy went to my college, like I know so many people like this guy who's just such a piece of shit and like uses money and privilege to manipulate people and just be that type of person. Yeah, I mean there definitely has been a lot of people who like connect with it, especially like people in showbiz who were assistants and like had those weird relationships with people above them, and yeah.
So one of our last questions that we always leave a guest off with, and I'm just very curious to hear
Hmm.
what your answer to this question is. Being a dark comedy fan, being someone who grew up on stuff like The Cable Guy, um, we love double features on this show. All horror
Hmm.
fans like double features. So, what would you pair if you were programming Don't Trip with another movie, either to play before or
Oh,
after in the theater? What would you pair Don't Trip with for the ultimate double feature?
sure. A couple come to mind. There's this movie Ingrid Goes West. Have you guys seen that movie
Ah, yes.
with
Yep.
Aubrey Plaza? Yeah, I love that movie.
Yeah.
Um,
Love that
ki-
movie.
kind of a similar vibe about transactional relationships in LA. Uh, that's a very LA movie, and that's kind of more in like the influencer space and not so much Hollywood. But yeah, I think that would make a good double feature. I have a couple. Um, there's this movie I love, this 80s movie, Less Than Zero. Have you guys seen that movie? With
No.
Andrew
Uh-uh.
McCarthy, and actually Robert Downey Jr. is in it. It's such a great 80s film about like, and it's based off a Bret Easton Ellis novel. He wrote American Psycho, and then he wrote Less Than Zeros, and he wrote a bunch of other great books. But yeah, it's a movie about like these rich kids who live in Beverly Hills in the 80s, and the excess and the privilege and how they use their money to get what they want, and how they're like addicted to drugs. And it's a very fun movie. I love that movie, and it kind of some inspiration was drawn from that one. And then I'm giving you three. The third one is The Player, the Robert Altman movie. Do you guys know that one?
I know of it. I've never
Yeah.
seen it though. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a horror movie, but like it's a very dark showbiz satire about a studio executive who gets like these anonymous threats from a screenwriter in the mail saying like, you read, or you never read my script, I'm going to kill you. And then he sort of like falls down the rabbit hole and like tracking this guy down, and then he murders him, and it's just like probably the best satire of showbiz ever made. And I just it's an unbelievable film that's hilarious and very dark, and it's so 90s, and there's a million cameos, and it's one of my favorite movies of all time. So yeah, I would put that one in as well for the double feature, the Don't Trip double feature, if you
That's
are brave enough to do that.
yeah. And if you want to go all four movies and pull an all-nighter, there you go too.
Yeah,
There you
I'm
go.
sure
Yeah.
they're all available on Tubi. I'm sure their library of 250,000 movies that they have. I'm sure you could find all these movies on there. Um, but
Just
yeah,
a big
that
old Tubi night. Big old Tubi night.
yeah, we all love Tubi. It's the people streamer, and yeah, we're all big fans over here.
Hell yeah. I love that.
So the movie is out right now. Don't Trip on Tubi TV. Alex, where else can the people find you if they want to keep up to keep up with what you're doing and what you have going on?
Sure. It's yes, the movie's out on Tubi. It's streaming now. It's completely free. Please go watch it. And you can find me on Instagram. It's just my name, Alex Kugelman. Very plain, boring, but you can find me there. And probably on Twitter with the same one also, but I'm probably more active on Instagram. So yeah, follow us and follow Don't Trip Movie on Instagram for any updates on the film. And we're trying to get on other streaming platforms and trying to get it to pop off on Letterboxd and do all that kind of stuff as well. So yeah, please watch it and tell your friends about it, because it's a fun movie that's worth your 93 minutes. I think so.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely it is. Alex, thank you so much for sharing this movie with us and joining us in the basement. We had a blast with it, and yeah, people check out Don't Trip on Tubi.
Amazing. Thank you guys so much. This is awesome.
You're listening to the Prescribed Films Podcast Network, home to hundreds of hours of free podcast entertainment. The shows on this network all have a common goal: providing you with the best discussions about movies and other forms of entertainment media. The PFPN hopes to fill your earholes with audio joy. Visit our website with links to all the other amazing shows at www.thepfpn.com. Thanks for listening.